This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen The Tune, an animated musical comedy from Bill Plympton made back in 1992. It's a fun sort of ride that follows a songwriter named Dell trying to work through his writer's block to create a perfect song for his boss, whose threats to fire him would not only ruin his livelihood, but his plans for a future with his girlfriend, Dee Dee, who works as his boss's secretary. After being called in for an important meeting, Dell gets lost on a highway and winds up in an odd little town called Flooby Newby, which has a small population with a large habit of breaking into song when emotions run high, inspiring Dell to stick around and see if he can learn in time how to create the perfect song. It's not much of a story, really, but it's simple enough to work as a framing device for the rest of the film's events. The flow between major moments is a bit broken, but that doesn't really matter too much because those moments are the main appeal of the film. The musical numbers and some smaller segments do tend to bring the story to a halt as they go on, playing out in full and going right back into the narrative, almost as if nothing had just happened. There's even a point where Dell outright asks why he's watching something completely unrelated to his current task. That said, the story itself is far from being entirely pointless, cementing the central message being shared through example, as well as, again, being there to set up the various vignettes that make up most of the movie. In a way, the movie becomes more like a showcase for these segments rather than a tightly knit narrative as a whole, almost like an anthology instead of an original story. Whatever the case, everything here is still entertaining, reveling in its silliness and imagination, and having fun with its ideas and the music that comes from it. The characters themselves are more archetypal and hardly fleshed out, but it's in their simplicity that they're easy to sympathize with, especially when it comes to Dell and Dee Dee's relationship, which is almost told more than it is shown. But again, I feel like any complexity would be antithetical to what the filmmakers wanted to get across. Speaking of complexity, the animation of The Tune is, along with the music, the main draw of the film and where its creative input is pushed to its fullest. The animation makes great use of the impossibility of the medium, creating a world where food comes to life and dances, or trees and animals grow and shrink in size, among other things. It further allows the world around Dell and others, and especially within Flooby Newby, to work completely against most other limitations and create large and sprawling building layouts, endless oceans, and other impossible environments. This doesn't seem to be done to create a new world outside of a set reality, as it's all treated more naturally and as something that just kind of exists, but more to take advantage of the medium, again like a showcase for what can be done with animation, while ignoring how it could be used to further the story itself, which I assume the director did manage to figure out ahead of his next feature film, I Married a Strange Person, which has the same focus on visual creativity and musical expression, but in a more well-connected package. Either way, I would say that this movie is still a good watch, even if it's more of an animation reel than a full-fledged film. The Tune, Bill Plympton, 1992. 3.5 stars. Again, I'd say it's worth seeing for yourself. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I just would have liked a bit more story out of this personally. It was kind of funny when Dell just walked away after asking why he was watching one scene play out, though.